Good morning, everyone, and welcome again to our weekly product updates webinar for Engage121. This week we've got some great new features to go through. Some of them I'm sure you've already seen in the application, particularly related to new Speak. We're also going to run through the new support tab, then talk about some new listen filters and Facebook moderation tools. And then take a look at an example of some custom reporting that we've set up for a client that we think is very powerful and could also be very useful for some of our other clients. As usual, our phone lines are closed for the webinar, so if you do have questions during the course of the webinar, please use the questions functionality in the GoToWebinar software. And we'll try and answer those as we go along. So we're going to go ahead and start with the with new Speak. So as I'm sure all of you have seen when you've logged into Engage lately, we've got a message on the landing page about new Speak, kind of explaining what's there. And what you can expect to find and where to find everything. Once you've reviewed all this, you can obviously hide that alert so you don't see it again. But we'll start over on the Speak tab. We wanted this to be a smooth transition for our clients and not just to make a big switch without giving you a chance to become familiar with what we're changing to. So Speak right now is still linking to the existing version of Speak, but we have a button to launch into the preview of new Speak. And this will continue to be completed over the coming weeks and continue to be built out to be more robust. But it has the look and feel that you've already come to expect from Explore, the Home tab, and Listen, and incorporates a new path that we'd like to take, particularly with relation to our Valence, the Facebook applications that we provide for you. So for the time being, Speak, you have your existing Speak Corporate, Speak Local. Takes you to the standard Compose a Post that you're already familiar with. That obviously will get a facelift in the coming weeks as well. Now, Valence has been split out into its own section, and we've made it a much more graphical experience. So we can still launch into the existing versions of creating Valence. So if you have something you have to get done, by all means, use what you're familiar with. But we do encourage you to start poking around with the new system. Let us know what you think and get familiar with it. So as we do make the transition, you're comfortable with it and prepared for it. Now, the drop down here is going to show you the different categories of Valence. Again, we've tried to make this a more intuitive process for finding what you're looking for, rather than just grouping everything together. We've broken them out into to different types of Valence. In this account, I have just the standard widgets right now. That will continue to be built out with some of the custom Valence you've seen me cover in past weeks and past webinars. As we continue to make those into more generic versions that can be used by all of our clients, you'll see this continue to fill out with more options. For those of you who do have custom templates already, custom Valence already, you'll see those categorized in here as well. But choosing a Valence category, we'll see the different types of Valence that are available in that category, and then be able to preview a screenshot of what it looks like. And in these cases, you'll also be able to view an example on Facebook. So if I want to see how that actually works on Facebook, if I want to see how I can interact with that on Facebook, I have that option. I can link right through and see it. I can see how all of the commenting and asking questions works in the customer care Valence. Likewise, for the other widgets, I can click through to view those as well. If I like to use that one, I can click on submit or select rather, and that'll take me through that the fanlet creation process. That will for the time being continue to be the same as what it is now, but we are building this into a much more graphical interface. Then the last thing I point out before we jump onto the support section is that the platform ads has been split out to its own category as well. So if you do have Facebook advertising turned on and you want to place just a standard platform ad, that functionality is built in here for you as well. Now, I mentioned the support tab, and a big part of the support tab is being able to submit an order for a custom fanlet. So one of the things that's linked here is to customize one of my own fanlets. So if I click on that, it's going to take me over to support and into our fanlet support section. So what you see here is, again, you see the same categories. You see the same sets of fanlets that you had available to view before. We'll select that same one. And again, I have the buttons to use it, which will launch me back over into Speak. I can view it on Facebook, which again will take me to Facebook to where I can interact with it. And then I have the ability to customize this. So if I choose to customize it, I'm going to be able to say submit a request to our support team for how I like to change the way that it works. If I want it to look differently, or if I want it to submit new entries to my current CRM or newsletter system or things along those lines, this is where you would do that. So taking the existing fanlet, entering in how you'd like to customize it, is what you would do in this case. To submit, for example. And then I have ability to upload collateral. So in this case, if I wanted this to submit to my CRM's API, I could upload API documentation about it. Any things that would support the request or further explain your request for customizing a fanlet. Now, when you do submit this and click send, that's going to submit the completed request to our client services team, who are going to review it and put together an SOW for you based on what you've requested. Make sure that we clarify any questions about what you're requesting and put together a time and cost estimate around that project. So we'll put that all together, get back to you on it, and complete that process of actually completing the custom fanlet for you. Now, there's some other things that are on the support tab. So if I switch to support, we have now a contact us form where there are a lot of different ways that you can reach out to us. Obviously, you can sign up for our webinars. In addition to my own webinar, there are webinars that go on throughout the course of the week that cover the different parts of Engage121 and how to use them. And you can find that schedule with this link. Also information about emailing us, calling us, finding our blog, submitting a question to us, and then finding us on Twitter and Facebook. So those are available as just convenient ways for you to reach us. Obviously, however you're already reaching us, if that works for you, you can obviously continue to do that as well. We've also added in a link for our user's guide. At this point, this is a PDF that you can download. So when you click on that, it will launch a download to your system to download that user's guide, so you can refer to it as you work through the Engage121 application. So there's a lot of great things here, and you can obviously see the way that we're moving and how we're building out Speak. And again, that will continue to expand over the coming weeks, and we'll continue to keep you up to date on the new things that are available in the Speak preview. And I do encourage you to become familiar with it so that it is a smooth transition for you. And we do want to hear what you think about it. We think that we're taking a very large step forward in Speak's functionality, and we'd love to hear what you think of it and ways that you think it might work better for you. The next thing I'd like to take a look at is some new listen filters and some new tools for Facebook moderation that have been added into Listen. So we'll switch back over to Engage, move to the Listen tab, and I'll start with my Rick's Rolls Facebook page, for example. So in this case, I've got a whole bunch of posts on my Rick's Rolls page. And I have a comment on one of my posts here. So a feature that was requested by a number of our clients that we were happy to integrate is the ability to like and delete comments on our posts. So we can now, if someone comments on our post, we're able to like that and show that acknowledge that comment on our post. So in addition to being able to comment along the comment chain there, we can also like the individual comments. And if there is something that we're able to delete, in the case of someone comments on something that's just inappropriate or for whatever reason feel that that's something that needs to be deleted from the thread, we do also have a delete button here for that. In Facebook natively, they hide as spam natively. Through the API, it is actually deleting the comment. So there is a small difference there, but it's currently how Facebook has their API set up for managing comments on posts. So very minor distinction, but that is what we're doing, is actually deleting the comment from the post. But that's available for all of your Facebook pages, and one that was requested by a number of clients. So we're happy to be able to provide that. Some other things that were requested by clients in particular are some new filter options. So if I go to build a new filter here, if I look at my Rick's Rolls page, for example, there's a new filter option here for what I want to show. So right now I can show all of the posts. I can show just the status posts. I can show just the ones with links. But now I also have an option for just my direct message box for that Facebook page. I can also do that as a combination of pages if there's multiple ones that I manage. I can set one up that's just the direct messages that are being sent to that page. So if those have obviously something that you probably want to respond to more quickly, someone direct messaging you because there's probably a very important reason for them doing that, you can create that filter now in Listen. And again, any filter that you create in Listen, you can always set up an email alert for it as well. So any filters that you have, very easy to set up an email alert, get a notification immediately so that you can respond to those things rapidly. Then the other filter that was added in here is for Twitter. Previously, we've had the ability to filter on either all posts from that Twitter feed, all the direct messages with that Twitter account, all the app messages for that Twitter account. And in this case, we've also added the ability to do a filter that's a combination of the direct messages and app mentions. Again, a client request. We're happy to accommodate it, and that has been made available for everyone. And again, since you can create those filters, you can set up an email alert to let you know whenever you're mentioned, whether through an app mention or a direct message. Across any of your Twitter accounts there. So those new filters are available now. Obviously, all of these can be used in combination. So I can have the Twitter filter that's all of my DMs and app mentions, and I can have that in combination with all of the direct messages that I'm getting on my Facebook pages. So all those things can be used in combination. I can also put a keyword filter on that as well. So if I want to just filter on all of the direct messages that mention help, for example, I can set that sort of filter up and get those more rapidly and monitor the others on a less regular basis. So that is available for everyone right now. Now, the last thing I'd like to run through before we adjourn for this week is a new set of a custom report scorecard that we've built for one of our clients. The client in particular here is called HCA. They are a chain or an organization of hospitals and clinics across the country, hundreds of hospitals and clinics, thousands of doctors, hundreds of thousands of doctors and practitioners working for them. And they had a particular set of metrics that they wanted to monitor, that they wanted to track and rate the performance of their clinics, of their doctors within these particular metrics. So what I'm looking at right now, what we're looking at right now is what one of those clinics would see. This is still in development. This is in a test phase right now for them. So there is a lot of numbers that aren't populated in here yet. But what they are monitoring are metrics across all of these different platforms. So they have Facebook, they have Twitter, they have the blogs, but then they also have review sites in here, and Yelp, and Yahoo and Being Local, for example. So they provided us with the set of metrics that they wanted to monitor. They provided us with a score that if they reach this level, then the score goes up to what have you. So the scoring here in this case is a 1 through 5, or rather a 0 through 5. And as they complete these different metrics, as they have their profile created and connected to Engage, that will complete that score for them. As they reach a certain number of likes, that will complete that score for them, and so on across the other platforms. Additionally, for the clinic, they'll have a roll-up table, an actual scorecard that shows how all of those metrics lay out across all of the different platforms. So seeing the number of fans and followers and how that affects their score, the number of reviews, the sentiment of the reviews, and so on, how that reflects their score. And then they have a summary that gives them their current total score, their baseline score, what they started at, and their total rating. So they're able to monitor this over time and track their performance of these metrics over time. So this is something that a lot of these different metrics, these are all metrics that are already in Engage, things like your fans and followers, your activity level, the number of accounts you have. These are all things that are in Engage, and this is just another way of kind of slicing and dicing and regrouping those different metrics in a way that's most relevant for this particular client. So there's certainly, this is a very a particular case, but there's obviously things along these lines that could work well for a lot of our clients. There's a lot of tracking performance on Facebook, tracking performance on Twitter. Maybe there's different review sites that relate for your particular industry. But being able to track those things and apply a score to it is obviously a very powerful tool. So this is something that they came to us and said, this is what we want to monitor. These are the scores that we want to apply to each of these different metrics. And then in their case, at the corporate level, which is what we're looking at now, they can adjust how they want to view that. So they're actually organized in a sense that they have groups, and then they have divisions, and then within that they have individual clinics. So they can group and slice and dice this however they need to. So you already have, for those of you with outlets on our Enterprise Edition, you already have a coverage setting for all of your evaluate charts, where you can specify individual outlets, individual locations, or groups of them. But this is just kind of taking it to another level that's more customized for that particular organization. So you may have organization structure that's similar to this, where you have division heads and you have region heads or things along those lines that group of how you want to group what you report on. So this gives them the ability to do that same sort of thing, where they can filter at the division level, put together, roll up the different metrics from all of the clinics there, roll it up to a scorecard, and then roll it up to a summary. So then they are able to follow up with their clinics and with their division leaders and so on to report to them how they're actually performing. Give them a grade on how they're performing in social media and in the review, the reputation management side of things. So this is something that's it's very specific for this client. It's taking things that we already have and making it a much more customized report, a much more customized metrics table. So this is something that we think could be valuable for a lot of our other clients, which is why we're talking about it today. And we would love to hear from you if there are things along these lines, if there's a particular type of scorecard that would work well for your industry, things that are important to you in terms of how you measure the success of your social media and reputation management outreach. So please do let us know if those are things that you see value in, if there's ways that they could be modified to be more valuable for you. That's the last thing I wanted to run through from an application standpoint for today. But I do want to remind you that coming up, we do have the Social Flow webinar that will be occurring this week. And that is with the Social Flow's head of research and development, and they'll be going through the different intricacies of how Social Flow optimizes the delivery of your tweets, or gives you the power to optimize the delivery of your tweets, your social media outreach. As we talked about last week, the 3-month trial that we ran with our client base was hugely successful. There was a dramatic growth in the number of retweets that our clients saw over the course of using Social Flow in comparison to just scheduling posts and not using Social Flow. So I do encourage you to join that event, join that webinar, and learn a little bit more about how it works. We saw a tremendous benefit both for our B2C clients as well as our B2B clients. So I do encourage you to sit in on that and take a look at continuing forward with Social Flow, even though the trial period is done. Again, thank you all for joining us for this week's webinar. Do love to hear back from you on what you think of the webinars, what you think of the features, and things that you'd like to see covered in future webinars. You can always reach out to Jenny. You can tweet us at Engage121. And if you have particular questions about how things you saw today work for you, or how they affect you, I do encourage you to reach out to our client services team, either at support@engage121.com or through whatever channels you use to communicate with them normally. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Friday.